Welcome to the Nerdtastic in 3D podcast.
It's Nerdtastic in 3D. Oh, it's Nerdtastic in 3D. Yes, it's Nerdtastic in 3D. It's Nerdtastic
in 3D. Bong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nerdtastic in 3D, episode number 33.
Tres.
Not bad.
I've lost track.
Not bad. Josh is having an off night.
Exactly.
We are a podcast of entertainment and industry professionals talking about anything and everything that we find entertaining and or nerdy. My name is Jason Carter.
I'm Jack Geckler.
I'm Sean Fennell. I'm Josh Sprott.
Adam McFarlane.
That's the creepiest intro you've ever done.
Hello, Adam.
And,
Hi, Adam.
and we have some very special people joining us this evening, as most of our episodes seem to be. Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit about our guests?
Absolutely, and also a Nerdtastic first. I'd like to welcome to the show our very first female guest.
Yay!
We're,
Hooray!
an equal opportunity show here.
Only on episodes that are prime numbers.
Yes, my sister and niece, who are both huge fans of the show and who are in town this week from San Antonio, Texas. My sister,
Amanda Dodd.
and my niece,
Sydney Geckler.
and you guys might remember the name Sydney Geckler from an earlier episode where me and Mr. Jason Carter,
Where I was right.
wanted to tell us. She sent in a question and asked about nerds in school and how high school is nowadays, and me and Jason had differences of opinion.
And after 1 hour of debating, we thought, what better idea than to actually get her here to enjoy this
Why
again?
not bring the high school child here to talk about it?
Yeah, dude, now you can argue with her about it.
Awesome.
And
Looking
now,
forward to
and
it.
now she could see that yes, nerds do travel in packs and record podcasts together.
And they do stay together. In
They do stay together.
In an empty building.
So thank you guys for coming down.
Happy to be here.
How's it's Jace?
But before we actually officially start, I did want to start with this one, which is something that I hope you guys will find entertaining. Where does the Lone Ranger dump his trash? At the dump, dump.
I love how I've never heard it that silent in this room.
Yes!
This
So
is the
excited.
hard thing is you know Jason's joke, and so you go for the
You don't know that
stupidest
joke.
pop-
It's brand new. I heard
your-
it today.
no,
Thank
your
you, Jim
brain-
Turner, for telling
your
it to
brain
me.
goes,
And to
"What's the
challenge your
stupidest
joke,
answer?"
Sydney,
Uh-oh.
what was the one yesterday I said Jason will love to hear that one?
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's the you know how you have the AB. This is an AB conversation. See your way out of it.
Yeah.
Well, me and my friends, we said this is a bean and cheese conversation, nachos.
I like it. You know what that reminds me of? Is
Way funnier than anything you have ever said in your life.
hey, that kind of reminds me of what do you call cheese that doesn't belong to you?
Nacho
cheese.
Very, very similar. I like it. You and I are going to be friends, I think. Jack, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say this is only the second time, Mandy, or third that you've been to California.
It's my third time being
Third
in
time.
California.
Welcome
Thank you.
to the Sunflower
Welcome to the
State.
state.
What state are we? Sunshine State?
Sunflower.
That'd be
That's
Florida.
Florida.
What the hell?
They have seeds.
What?
Our truckers eat sunflower seeds.
What's
the
on our
Gold Rush
flag?
state.
Is it a gopher? Oh, that's a bear.
We're not the Bear State. We're the Sunshine State, right?
Golden State.
Golden State.
You
Golden
What's the-
State Warriors.
What's
you
the
need
Sunshine
to
State?
leave Florida.
Florida?
What's Florida?
the difference?
You need to leave our state.
I thought Florida was a sun-kissed state.
Is it golden because of the gold rush? Is it? That would make sense.
After the soda. Yeah.
Why isn't Alaska the Golden State?
Because it's dark. A lot of times of the
Alaska-
year.
There's gold there.
That's the Colden state.
The
Colden.
I think
So-
that was the worst joke of the evening so far.
How's the experience been this time for you both? Like, you guys been having a good time? I've tried to vary up what they've done this
As
vacation.
tour guide, as Southern
Oh,
California tour
it
guide.
definitely has been quite the experience. Tours of darn near everything. Everywhere we went, there was a tour. Grocery stores.
This is where I buy
Malls.
It's all new. It's all new.
It's all new.
I could just picture Jack in tour guide mode. This is where they keep the bananas.
That's pretty much what happened.
Damn fine
follow
bananas
me, it's
in
the
the
frozen
Sunshine
food.
State.
The Colden.
I've lived here my whole life, and I should know this.
It's a state that just keeps on giving.
You have really lived here your whole life.
We did. We tackled Disney yesterday and California Adventure, which
Like you jumped up and like grabbed Mickey and threw him on the ground.
Sometimes you need to.
I tell you what, for listeners, something that blew my mind, and Jason, we've talked about this, and the rest of you guys here. My wife no longer works for Disney. She's at Mattel, so we no longer get the free tickets and whatnot. So we scavenged to get free tickets to go to the park.
So you did get. You did.
So there's eight. There was 8 of us, Manny. 8 of us.
8 of us.
8 of us. Okay. So we did finally get enough friends to give us tickets.
Oh.
Do you know how much it is though for 8 people to go now?
Almost $1,000.
It would have been
$900?
over $1,000 for our family to
Just
go
to
for the
get
day.
in
For the
the
day,
door.
one day,
Just to get in.
to go to both parks,
Not to do anything.
not to eat, not to do anything
drink.
else, but to wait 150 minutes to go on the cars ride.
Did you do it?
Hell no.
Hey,
Oh.
by the way, I want to thank you for supporting my company.
Free was the only way we were going to. But as we were there, looking around, it really struck me as that must just be insane for a family to take their entire if they don't have that to
You know
go.
what's-
It just blows me away.
What's interesting is the one-day park hoppers are like $125 now, and Disney does these incredible package deals where if you're going to go for longer than a day, or if you're going to stay in a hotel there, they actually end up that price point per visit ends up being considerably lower.
We used to, like, all through elementary school, middle school, when my grandma used to live down here, we'd go to Disneyland for, like, 5 days. And we do the whole,
Like you
6 of us.
commute up from
We would drive down every day from
Disney
Seattle.
World or
no,
Disneyland?
San Diego.
No, we'd stay in a hotel, and you do the 5 days
He drove down every day
every
from
day from Seattle. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's 18 hours. It's fine. We made it. I mean, every other day, I guess, when you do the math on the driving. But no, and you think, like, tickets, food, souvenirs, like, all that stuff fucking adds up. That was before we drank at Disneyland. And now you drink.
Since
Oh,
we
that
have a minor
blew my
amongst
da-
us, do
blew-
I have to beep out swear words?
No. You don't. But that blew my dad away. Now, my dad, being from the Sunshine State, as it turns out, it was out here as well. We left at
I thought that was the orange juice state.
They do have orange juice there,
Right.
yes,
Not as
Florida's
catchy.
natural.
as well as 50 other states where you can buy
We have
orange
oranges
juice.
too. Here
Haven't
in
you been
this
on
state.
Soarin' over California?
No.
You have. I was on it with you.
But my father, who's highlighted the day, was being left at the Grotto Bar so we could walk around. When I came back, he was sitting on a bench with my mom, and I said, "I'm surprised you guys are still at the bar." He's like, "Do you know it is $6 a beer in there?" I'm like, "Welcome to California." That's how we do it.
$6 a beer.
That seems
That's
like
cheap.
I'm like
Cheaper
I'm
than
in
a bar.
theme park.
That's
That's fantastic.
Coors Light, my friends.
You know what's
Coors
cheaper than beer?
Light.
Root beer.
Not much.
Probably not there. Probably $6. IBC.
IBC.
Probably more because it is in a glass bottle. They have to bring out in a frothy mug.
Sarsaparilla.
Did you guys have fun at the park yesterday, though?
Yeah, we did.
Ma'am?
Absolutely.
Sydney?
It was fun, and then Uncle Jack did something horrible there.
Uh-oh.
Did you poop on the flowers?
It was,
It was
damn
close.
near. It was damn near. Close.
Is that
As the night went on, and I had eaten multiple various foods, theme park foods. Had a bread bowl down at the wharf.
Did you have the Bakersfield broccoli and cheese?
Of course I did. That's pound that. Which I waited exponentially for. I was in line for probably an hour to get this. Everybody else got food they could get in 2 seconds. I can't. They were all done, but I had my bread bowl. We walked back to Disneyland. We were going to Indiana Jones for our fast pass that we got at about 10 a.m. That was good for 10 p.m. And we came back, and as we finished, we were sitting over by the Dole Whip stand, which I love a good Dole Whip.
Dole Whip.
And the girls were using the restroom, and me and Sydney were there, and some of that Bakersfield broccoli and cheddar wanted to come back up
not down?
out of my ass. And as I sat there, I was like, "Well,
Were you standing on your head?
dude." I was sitting. It's this poor Sydney sitting next to me, and I'm sitting there, and it decides to leave my body, and I'm sitting there, and I chuckle a little bit because damn, it was foul. But she looks over and she just not knowing anything. I swear, being oblivious, she goes, "God, something just started smelling horrible." Looking at me with a serious look. I just don't get it. I'm looking around, and I'm looking around like, man,
Wow,
that's
that
the
does
plants.
stink.
And I look at her, I'm like, well, something did exit my booty, and but it could be the plants. It could be anything else. She's like, "Oh, good." But it was like
I
a
can
train.
taste it.
But it was like a
I can
train wreck, and
taste
she
it.
couldn't leave me either because the girls got out of the bathroom. Like, why didn't you walk away? She said, "I don't know. I was covering up, and it was there."
So did you crop dust? Did you weave in and out of the crowds while leaving this trail behind you?
No, I sat there and enjoyed it.
You didn't share that
I'm a
well?
man. I'm a man who enjoys
Did
it.
I cry? No, I just sat there and let it just permeate.
Phantasmic had just let out, so they were all walking past as I sat there.
They walked through it. That's fantastic. Up here.
I can kind of picture your arms up in the air doing this. You know, one of these. It's a good time.
I went for my high five challenge right then.
1, 2, 3, 4,
No
5.
takers, as it turned out. Failed miserably.
Failed.
As it turned out, everybody walked away from me as I went to high five.
Quickly.
So, Mandy and Sydney, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Just such an open.
Segued.
Should we start with Sydney maybe and like
Absolutely. Let's start with Sydney.
high school student? Let's talk about something you want to maybe do for a career. That's kind of interesting.
I want to be the person that does the screenplay writing or the storyboard writing or just stories.
In anything.
Do you like to draw?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you good? Because I suck.
I think I'm pretty good.
If someone had a gun to my head and they're like, "Hey, draw a picture of a camel," I would probably draw a stick. And then they'd pull
With
the
two
trigger.
humps.
It'd be a stick with two curvy sticks after it, and then they'd pull the trigger.
Kind of would look like the McDonald's logo.
Would you have a head? I mean, would you try to do legs or just give up after the stick?
He'll be like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a thumbs up for giving me this challenge. Now let me draw a camel."
Do an M and then the number 7 and you're golden, dude.
I like it. This is really brilliant.
Holy what?
So, Sydney, do you doodle in class? Do you
Yeah, and I get in trouble by my parents for doing it.
from your parents, but not your teachers?
No.
Wow.
Your teachers are supportive of your artistic endeavors.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I write in class too, and my English teacher doesn't make me stop.
Good.
Sounds like you got
You
some
know,
good
some-
teachers.
What about your math teacher? Does he make you stop?
Something fascinating she brought up yesterday. I don't know how you guys were in school, but I find this really
Awesome.
fascinating
That was awesome.
with your attendance. But there was a point in my school career where I found that maybe there was times I didn't have to be there.
It was called kindergarten, and it lasted for 12 more
I
years.
would say, is this how the work attendance is kind of gone too?
Yeah.
Ah, it's all starting to paint a picture now.
Yeah.
Sean, how many times has he shown up to work this week?
None times.
Mentally, I've been there all week.
None times.
Now, at
None
Sydney's
times.
school, if she is even late for class, if they assume she's not in that class, they email her mom and dad instantly.
And send text messages too.
And send text messages. That's insane.
It's a high-tech school.
Yeah,
these
yeah,
days.
It's caught up.
and if like my grades go below 70, they send them text messages straight away.
You can't lie about your grades, and you have to be there.
I remember-
What the hell's going on with our school system?
Wait, you lied about your grades?
Never.
How? Don't they mail the report card back to your house?
get it.
They turned the F into a B,
Mandy,
Jason.
in the Sunshine State, they didn't mail those home. You got to take them home.
And yours conveniently got lost?
See, here's the thing that
They
happened.
never knew when it really came, other than at the end of summer. Did you get a report card this year? Oh, I didn't think you needed
Oh,
to see.
weird. That's weird.
Oh, yeah, it was all A's. Don't worry about it.
It's good. It's good.
And your parents believe this?
See, here's the thing that happened in
My parents love me, Jason. That's all that matters now.
I've met your mother. I'm pretty sure she didn't buy it.
No, she didn't buy anything we've sent her.
Absolutely.
But I find it very cool that she, most kids who want to get into our field or whatnot tend to be, I want to be an animator, or I want to do this or that, and I find it very fascinating that she's more into the story side of things.
Well, yeah, and I think one thing that's really cool to get slightly deep for a second is she's got an uncle who has works in the industry. I think a lot of us probably eyeballed nerdy-related industries, animation, film, whatever it was, and we didn't necessarily have somebody that we could look to who's had some experience in that. So I think it's really, really cool, and it's a really nice convenience that you want to do something that you have an uncle who works in that field. It's very, very cool.
show up more than him though.
Yeah, it's not going to be hard.
And you'll succeed in life. I tell you though, it is because that to me is it is in the field that we do. Everybody in this room, but Adam, and
Who brought a Lamborghini to whose work?
I love you.
I
love you. I love
to
you
my
for that.
work. Oh, okay, cool.
But it is such it's an interesting field that I wish I could give her more, and I'm having to reach out to people to get insight on that job specifically, how they got into it.
Sure, and
And
beyond
Jason
that,
might
it's-
have some more info actually on it than I do.
Well, and beyond that, it's not a field it's not like you go to high school and it's relatively taught. It's not like you take a class in storyboarding. It is a specialty. It is something that I think work in the animation industry or even in a lot of tech industries, it's not something you really learn in high school per se. It's more based on a general education. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, where do you even start? If you know you want to be a storyboard artist, where's the place that you actually start to to kick off and do it. I guess it's probably drawing in class and then having a
class, for
uncle
sure.
who loves you who's got connections.
Did they teach at Sean when you taught over your school? Was it Art Institute?
Yeah, it was the Art Institute. I don't believe they had a specific storyboarding class, but they definitely had that. They're laughing because Josh and I are sharing a microphone, and he just swung it.
I was
my
actually
way.
laughing at the idea of you teaching. Just kidding.
I'm an
Sean.
incredible
I
teacher.
bet you
I'll
are.
teach you a couple of things.
What would those be?
Come on, a beer.
Things.
I'm going to introduce you to.
But I don't think they
How that
had
works.
a
Yeah,
specific
Tom
class.
O'Leary.
But they did review storyboards in portfolio classes. So there was a little bit, but not.
She's at a point where she asked me, this is to the group, about schooling. And something we've talked about the show a bit, and it's nice to actually have somebody on the show who's of that age group, is that
actually interested in it.
for me in particular, like she had looked at Full Sail, my alma mater, where I went, but something that I've said on the show as well that I find would be more helpful would be actually physically going to a school in California and how helpful that potentially could be. And I don't know if any of you guys want to touch on that. I mean, we've all had different experiences on how we got where we got.
Has anybody gone to school down here?
Well, the schools that are here,
Has anybody? Nobody has.
well, I
been
would
to
say
school.
my-
I mean, not.
I got into this
like
industry.
advice you would give Sydney on
Right.
school.
Well, I got into this industry, at least the commercial industry, because of one of my teachers. So I think being in school out here, having that
that's what I'm saying.
type of people teaching you
No, I
is
just wonder if anybody had
really,
any
really,
specific-
probably a really good place to be.
Well, I think that's what the across the board I went to film school. I went to a small film school in Idaho. Let's swing this way.
Hudaho?
But
still had to move out here.
still had to move out here and came out here with literally one connection to, and it honestly.
Was it you?
No.
Was it Jason?
You weren't. You didn't give me a job.
Was
I'm
it
asking
LinkedIn?
which one.
Oh, you got me a place to stay. Which
Would
is the
any of
reason
us
I'm
honestly
still
get you
out
a
here.
job, Adam?
I'm just hoping to show up as one of your assistants.
You could drive me to work in a
You guys start
Lamborghini.
making-
Adam
I'll
has
pay you for that.
Adam has asked me repeatedly if I need an assistant who won't do any work and will get paid
Stop,
very highly.
Stop. I said won't do a lot of work,
Oh, sorry. I
but would get
apologize.
paid well. That's what I said. I not a lot.
We haven't
I just-
determined what well means in this economy.
I want to say equal to what I'm
We
getting now.
shoot $8 an
Equal to
hour?
what I'm getting now, which is more than
Just
I-
call
I don't like where your head's at.
Just call yourself a product engineer.
Yeah. No, but anyway, so I went to a small little film school in Idaho and came out here, had one connection that got me an internship between junior and senior year. And I mean, if I trace back every job I've had, it's because of that one connection. And that's literally how this industry works is, there's stories where people got an interview and somehow got a foot in the door, but unless there's somebody opening it, pushing you through, it's hard. It's very hard.
My thought is just the internships that are offered
That's
in
what-
California
exactly.
to studios. You in Florida, you never had,
Absolutely.
never remotely had, and like Sean said, the teachers who are in California tend, at least the ones here locally,
Yeah.
are usually working as well.
Yeah.
It's just a side thing they do.
Yeah.
So they're already in the industry you want to get into.
Well, it's the kind of thing where you could do, the internship I had was a full-time summer internship where I had to move out here. I stayed with, Jason and my sister for free or, very little.
Smiles.
Smiles and company pretty much.
He paid me in cooperative gameplay.
Yeah, we gamed together.
Thank you.
But no,
playing
it's like
zombies with me.
It's it's the kind of thing where it's if you're out here and can do an internship during the school year, where you're already living and you're whatever an internship 2 days a week is incredible, and the opportunities will already kind of be at your doorstep being out here. That being said, I wouldn't have traded going to school where I did and the experience I had, but I'm sure things would have gone a little differently had I gone to school out here.
I think my philosophy on
Give me that mic.
It's just man, let me swing this towards me.
I didn't want to do this. Is this better for you?
That'd be a little awkward.
I think that my philosophy on school kind of depends on where you're at in life. I think if you know specifically what you want to do with the rest of your life, you're passionate about it, and there's nothing else you could possibly do that would make you as happy, I think that's probably your answer to mean you should probably go to a vocational school or something that will teach you that specific craft. That being said, Los Angeles is an incredibly hard city. And certain industries are incredibly hard industries to break into and beyond that survive in. And so I think if you're the type of person who has any shadow of a doubt, I'm not 100% sure, but this really interests me, anything like that, I think there's some real value in a general education first. to have something under your belt that you could fall back onto. Meaning, get a general education at a school, get your BA in something, and then you can go on and say, well, I'm still very interested in storyboards, and then start down this specific path. If it doesn't work out, you still have that general college education to fall back onto. It's not necessarily a necessity, but it's something that I think is allows for freedom in the future. It allows you to change your mind. If you were to focus specifically on one thing and that weren't to work out, you may have a harder time moving on to something else.
I will say, beers. I will
We
say
need
the
a beer
other
here,
thing
people.
is coming. I don't know. I mean, a vocational school, like the 4 years in college, I went in thinking I wanted to be like a CSI,
An astronaut,
like a crime scene investigator.
firefighter.
Hey, who doesn't want to be both of those things? You guys can just shut your
I
mouths.
want to be Superman.
Astronauts get all the free tang they can drink.
Tang? Tang?
Astronauts to the moon.
What's that?
Apparently, no one here's ever seen Coneheads the movie.
Good lord. I don't even know where I was going.
It's
all
all
right.
right. Well,
Go to school.
Sid,
Go to class.
obviously-
Draw and math, not English. I don't know. That's the advice I
Obviously,
got.
you now have 4 other friends who can be connections, which is
And Disney is
help.
the very best place to work.
Thank you. For
You have 4 connections who can help you get a job.
Hey, we're not podcasting.
So, sis, tell us about you.
Bro. Wow. I'm in the Army. I'm stationed out at San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston, which
How many years?
15.
Whoa.
15 years.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah, I know. Just right around the corner. I actually just hit my 15-year mark, which
Did
is
they give you like a watch?
glorious.
Or anything sweet?
No, however, at the
Gold-plated
end,
gun?
they give me half my pay for the rest of my life, which is awesome.
Fantastic. Take that.
Take that.
So this assistant job.
They have the best.
If I could, I would.
They have the best union of them all.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Great union.
I think that was on camera.
I think it was. That would be glorious.
I'm not used to sitting
Holy
with
shit,
this
I
kind
forgot
of
about the
arrangement.
camera.
I know, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on here. I'm actually stationed down at San Antonio, which we like to call Narnia for us medical folk. That's where everybody goes to train and all that kind of glorious stuff. But I'm actually what I like to call an event coordinator for things that blow up. And
That's a very nonchalant name for.
I know, right? It's better than my actual job, which is a drug dealer. So I like to go with things that blow up better. I've been doing it for 15 years now, 2 tours in Iraq, and lots of great experiences that I love to share with my brother. My brother's actually the reason why I joined the military. When we were growing up, we were big.
He couldn't cut it, so you decided to join.
Through him.
She wanted to one-up me.
I wanted to one-up him. I did. He had joined, and I was like, I'm going to one-up him, you know, and I joined, and right around the time that I actually went to basic was while he was exiting the Army, so I did get to one-up him.
Not for me.
And I'm done.
You know what does sound like fun? Dressing up like a Muppet.
You got nothing. You got nothing.
I
Just,
really
just
did.
you got
I was
nothing.
trying to
You
search
should have
for a
known
goofy
better.
voice, and I had nothing.
Bringing your family here onto the show instantly
Yeah.
means we make fun of you the entire time.
The entire time.
That kind of does sound
So I
like
have a
fun.
quick question.
Sean.
I have a quick question, Manny. Not to interject, but you said that you've done 2 tours in Iraq.
2 tours.
So what'd you see? Museums?
Oh, yeah, museum. Actually, there's a lot of sand over there.
I mean, I don't. The concept of
Talk
the
about
fact.
the first one and when you went in.
No, but why do they call it a tour? You're not like, there's not a guy with a microphone and he's like, hey, over here you'll see the dolphins. I don't like. Why a tour?
I believe, you know, and actually
Sounds not
when
as
we're
bad.
over there, Iraq is considered to be a theater. So just so you know that, I was in theater twice, and the first time was in
Great class.
was in 2003. I went over with the initial push into Iraq when big booms went off and everything like that. It was a wonderful firework display. But I believe they call it a tour because you don't just stay in one place. You actually go sightseeing throughout. Pretty much is what it was. I actually
Stay alive.
Yeah, pretty much. I was with the last MASH in the United States, so that was fun.
Do you want to explain what that is?
MASH, you know, I've seen the TV show, right? It's very much like that. Exactly. Pretty
Like
much.
a medical unit on the front line.
Right.
A guy dressing up like a girl trying to get out. Is that-
Actually, that happened quite often.
A dude who can hear helicopters before everyone else.
Was it Klinger?
yeah.
Klinger was the
Klinger would dress
was
up.
the assistant
Yeah.
to the colonel. Yeah,
was Adam's
absolutely.
job.
So it was Adam's job. Exactly.
Hey, so somebody's got to help out. I just want to be well paid for it. I don't
He
want
walks
to do
around
a
with
lot of work.
a bear named Radar.
I don't.
So
So with that, I went over with the first initial push. We were considered the spearheads because our medical unit was the actual first unit to go into Iraq because we didn't want to wait in line with everybody else. So we said, screw it, we're going to go ahead and bypass everyone. Had to get pulled over by some MPs before we got blown up ourselves. It was actually kind of interesting because we, like a typical MASH, we got stopped. They're about ready to blow up on Nasiriyah, so we pulled out our lawn chairs and sat from a distance watching it happen. So that was kind of fun.
Wow.
she has pictures that are just
insane.
mind-boggling.
Out of this world. It is insane. It was a short, initial push because pretty much their entire force was saying, "We give up. Y'all have food. Y'all have showers.
Yeah.
We're good to go. Come on over." But we did these things called MWR tours when we were over there, where we would go into all of Saddam's buildings and stuff. And he really did have golden toilets, which I have pictures of sitting on, which is glorious. And
Did you do more than just sit on them?
I didn't have a whole lot
I'm sure
of
the
time.
plumbing was still working at that point. In those
There
buildings.
was no plumbing at that time. Actually, they hadn't had plumbing for quite some time, even before we showed up and blew stuff up. So,
So you were a medic. What was the actual title while you were there?
believe it or not, I am not a medic, although I like to play one every once in a while. I'm actually a pharmacy tech.
Okay, a pharmacy.
And
tech.
that's where the whole I do drugs.
Gotcha.
I do drugs on a daily basis.
I like it. So, is it true that in the Geneva Convention that it is actually against the rules of war to shoot a medical professional in the opposing army?
Actually, it is not that it is against the rules to shoot at a medical person. What it is we're actually, just to ring it all up for you, the United States and NATO are the only countries that really play by the rules. Just so you know.
To get to that, Jason, I'm pretty sure they didn't care who they were shooting at.
We do not shoot upon any medical or churches, mosques, anything like that. So, yes, we play by the rules, and yes, we do not shoot when people or medics on their side try and take people. However,
she assumes she's going to get shot.
It doesn't work both ways.
It doesn't work both ways. We play by gentleman rules. They play by guerrilla rules.
Like Pyramid?
Gentlemen rules. It's a gentleman's game.
It
Because
is
I
a
always thought
gentleman's
if you were going to be in the medical unit, you might as well just take a giant flag that had the big red cross on it, so you could wave it, and be like, "Don't shoot me." But it's true. If nobody's going to pay attention, then what's the purpose?
Right, exactly.
Like,
Then
holy
you're just
crap,
pointing
a
out where
flag.
you're at.
Here
Let's
I
put
am.
the lines there.
I'm a medical tech. I'm a medical tech. Don't shoot me.
I got drugs.
I have my Geneva Convention card.
Time out.
I will
Time out,
read it.
everyone.
Time.
That's
Read
I
it.
have my card.
I will report
I'm in the
you.
club.
I will report you. You're illegal.
Well, they're done.
What I found fascinating though, and actually lucky for my, because our family was very worried, obviously, when she was going over, is that luckily though that initial push, they were scared out of their minds, right, and they gave up. It wasn't until after that shit went crazy where they all started coming out of their houses and putting bombs in cars, and that was your second trip.
Right, that was the second. The first one we like to refer to as the Cowboy War, where we actually went out there and we pretty much did whatever we wanted to. I have great pictures of me rolling over a camel that was already dead, just so you know. It was not...
There was no killing of a
There was
camel
no
on this show.
killing
No
of the
camels were
camel.
harmed.
It was blackout driving. We couldn't see it, and then all of a sudden it was just like doosh, doosh, and like we got out and it was a camel that was already dead. So we called it Cowboy Wars because there weren't any roadside bombs or anything like that. So we just pretty much didn't have up armament, nothing like that. When I went back the second time, it was a completely different story. We probably got shelled at least 200 times during the 15 months that I was there, and I work night shifts, so in the morning is when they like to sit there and do it. So I can remember being in bed and, they have this thing called the big boy system that goes off and it's like, incoming, 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 find cover, right? And I'm asleep. So whenever I heard that, I would jump up and try and get into like a more secure area. And I can remember like running across my bed and feeling like a cartoon character because my blankets were like tangling up and I wasn't going anywhere. But we got shelled quite a few times. Our building got blown up a couple of times. The hospital got blown up a couple of times. But it was a big difference. Much different than the first time. We weren't cowboys. We were being blown up.
Talked about rolling over a camel, and it made me think of a funny story you have.
I can't wait for this.
Oh God, this is obviously I would only know this from being family. Let's talk about other animals you've hit in vehicles. And a story.
Fair.
It is fair because the story is amazing to me. So let's
talk
tell
about
a story.
Let's talk about animals
what-
that are domestic to the United States, right? And some other countries, perhaps. My first duty station was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and I was house sitting for a friend of mine, and I was at a bar, driving from this bar that was right around the corner from exactly where we were at, and it's a gravel road that has cuts in it, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, and as I'm driving, a flock of deer decide to jump across.
Not one. Is that what a group of deer is called?
No, it's actually
a
not
gaggle?
called.
Is it a gaggle?
I don't know what.
Sean being
Is
the
it a
hunter,
herd?
what is
I don't
it?
know, a
Herd?
bunch? What is it, a shitload of deer?
Do you want my technical advice? It's a shitload of deer.
A shitload of deer. But a whole gaggle, shitload of deer were jumping across the cut, and I actually happened to hit one while I was going. And I was very young at the time. I believe I was 18 at the time, and I didn't know what to do. I'm a young girl from Florida, not a whole lot of deer from there.
Sunshine State.
Sunshine, yeah.
You run over the
Sunshine.
alligators there. You don't,
Yeah,
they don't go
you don't
into the
stop.
windshield.
You don't stop. So I was very scared. So I got out and I went over to the deer, and the deer's like, "Rah," like
Making dead deer noises, as it would.
As it would. And I was petrified. I didn't know what to do. And I wanted to take it out of its misery, so I snapped its neck, right? And I didn't know.
Walked up to it.
You don't just gloss over that. Like, was that like
buddy.
an over your arm?
You know,
Was
no
that
big
a
deal. I just snapped his
twisted,
neck.
Like in the movies.
That's
did you,
like the longest
leverage
kiss.
With the,
What is it? The longest kiss goodnight, I think.
Yeah,
With
it
Gina
was
Davis?
very very
She
similar
just
to
walks
that.
over and just like, and she's like,
It was very, very similar to that. And I
first
went
try.
into
Wait, first try. You just
first try.
Man,
Snapped it. It's not as hard as what you think it is.
I don't know.
Come on, Adam.
It doesn't. You know, it's already almost in a relaxed dead state. Anyways, I just wanted to take it out of its misery. Yeah, very similar. And I went into almost like a childlike state in the sense that I felt like I had done something wrong. So I didn't know what to do. So instead of leaving the deer on the side of the road, I felt I needed to cover up what I had done. So I'm driving in a Chevy Geo, or no, what was it? A Geo Prism. A Geo
very
Prism.
small vehicle.
Small vehicle.
Oh, no.
And this deer was probably
you
about.
put it in your car.
I
Oh,
did.
no.
I
Tell me
did
you
put it in
didn't
my
chop
car,
him up into pieces
and it was.
put him in your car.
No,
No, he's in
I
one
didn't-
piece.
I didn't even know what to do with it, to be honest with you. So I.
Can we back up a second?
Yes.
The military brings over geoprisms
No,
to Iraq.
She's in Missouri.
I'm in Missouri.
Jason hasn't left Iraq yet.
Sorry.
He's still there.
He's,
Totally
on, tour,
thought
he's
that-
on tour number 3.
Yes.
I'm like picturing you
Suffering
driving down
from
a dirt road in
PTSD.
Iraq in a geoprism.
A gaggle of deer came out of nowhere.
That's what I thought too. I was like, what? Are they desert dwelling deer? I don't
But I
understand.
didn't decide to chime in until the
Exactly.
Geo Tracker part.
this whole
'Cause
story
I don't
has
buy
been
that
wasted
part.
on me.
I don't buy it.
Completely.
You're in Missouri. Continue.
In Missouri. And as we continue, so the deer is probably about 150. It's a small deer, and so I literally open up both of my back doors, grab it, pull it across the back of my car, close the door, and I went down to the house.
Still a good idea.
Still great. I mean, I don't even know what to do with it. So I had a boyfriend at the time that was living in Hawaii. So I call him up and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just hit
He'll
this
know
deer
what
and
to
it's
do
in the
with
back of my car. Actually, no, when I got
And I
there.
may or may not have just came from a bar. So
Do they even have deer in Hawaii?
Put those things together.
I had no one else to really call. So when I got down to the house, I did pull it out of the car, just so you know. I pull it out. I call him up. He's like, "Did you call the cops? Did you do anything?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "You need to go ahead, call the cops." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go back out to the car. I pull the deer back into the car. I drive up to where I was at. I pull the deer out. And I stage it.
strategically stage it.
Strategically stage it.
You must be exhausted at this point. Jesus.
I was hyped up on
This is
adrenaline.
what you want to do if you kill someone, people.
I don't know if you snap something's neck, but it goes on for a couple hours after that.
Make sure to take the
does.
body back to the crime scene and place him.
I put it exactly back where it was. I had called the police, waiting for them to come. Police officer starts doing up his report, and it is freezing cold outside. So we're both sitting in the car. He's writing up the report, and all of a sudden there's a tap on the window. Guy rolls down the window, and the guy that's out there is like, "Hey, y'all gonna keep this deer?" And I was like,
I got a place for it in my freezer over there.
I was like, the police officer's
Welcome
like,
to Missouri.
"Welcome to Missouri." The police officer's like, "No, we're not going to keep the deer." And he's like, "All right, do you mind if I take it?" And the guy's like, "Sure, here, let me help you out." Cop gets out, helps this guy put this 150-pound deer into the back of his truck, and they drive away.
Can't
And
waste good deer meat.
That is my entire
2 days, 5 sticks of beef jerky later, we're good to go.
We're good. We're good.
So what we've learned is you should have kept it.
I should have. I could have made a profit off of that one incident. However, I was too
Should
young
aim
at the
for
time.
more of them.
Now, for the listeners at home, you can't do that with anything you hit.
No.
Some things you really shouldn't load into your car and take home.
That
Or
is true.
snap its neck
Or
when you
snap
get out
its
of the
neck
vehicle.
if it's not
The
dead.
only thing missing from the story is when she puts it back or when she puts it in the vehicle, it coming back to
Yeah,
life.
the Tommy Boy moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Horn through the roof and attacking her.
It did not do that. However, it did leave me special
Sorry
presents
about
in
your
the back
car,
of my car
man.
because as soon as it dies, it releases all of its bodily functions, in which it did all over the back of my car.
Wait, were you in the cop sitting in your car or sitting in his car?
We were sitting in his
Oh,
car.
okay, good. Because he probably been like, ma'am, what the fuck? Is that a shit?
Did you shit yourself?
Did you shit yourself?
Needless to say, this was a good family story that has been told many a generation.
I'd still like to go back and visit the picture in my head, which is the driving in a geoprism issued by the army in Iraq, and you suddenly clip a desert-dwelling deer that travels in herds.
It's a rare species.
Yeah,
it's protected.
I literally, when you started the story, I'm like, I had no idea there were deer in Iraq.
But I love my favorite part is it wasn't until the car, the type of car where you were like,
I didn't want to interrupt, but I felt like at that
whoa,
point,
whoa,
this
whoa.
story-
I was on board.
I don't
until
even
now.
know. Desert deer's okay. I buy it. A Geo, U.S. Army, no way.
Well, come on. When
Yeah.
have you seen the Army issue anything other than a Hummer? That's what took me out of the reality.
Oh, they issue all
Desert-
kinds of things. You
Desert
have no
deers,
idea.
though.
SUVs.
Desert dwelling flocks of deers.
Desert, yes.
Out of
Deers.
the woods. I don't know if you heard that part of the story.
I
But there was also woods involved.
You used way too many plurals in that sentence. Deserts, deers, woods.
What was it?
Lots of them.
What I found interesting when she was in Iraq the second time was that the second time she got to go with her husband. The first time they both had to go separately. This time they convinced him, hey, my husband's an MP. He can work at the hospital. She's like, I can work at that. Hey, we could be there. The size of the room they had to share for the length there would put any friendship, relationship, I don't care who the hell was in that room.
Somehow
with
they
me.
found a half room to put two people in.
Man, so what do
Right
you
about
think-
here.
What do you think the
Right
dimensions
about
were?
here to the wall.
Could you touch both walls with your hands?
I couldn't touch both. I couldn't
Pretty
touch
close?
them. Pretty close. I mean, if him and I stood standing side by side, we could touch both walls
So
together.
we would send things over to them, and I love my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is a man's man, and he's a big fan of
Does
the
he
mountain.
eat roadkill deer meat?
I bet you
I
he
bet he
would.
would.
Desert deer meat.
Desert.
But he does love the Mountain Dew, and he does love a good Slim Jim. So of course, brother Jack sent some of that over there out of
he
my
gets
own
it.
private stash. But one of the things that was funny was we asked him, "Hey, what do you really want?" She goes, "Oh God, please buy us a comforter set. It was something to make it feel like home." So like we bought them this plush bedding set to send over to her. She's like, that makes us feel like we're at home. And then she sends back pictures of the room. I'm like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have put me there with anybody. I don't care if you were super hot, if you were like giving me bars of gold every day when I woke up. You'd want to kill
Congratulations, you
the person.
You survived another day. Here you go. Here's your bar of gold, sir.
And that blew me away. It's like I love you. Never this much again.
Wow.
You can have your bar of gold, or you can leave the room for days.
It was
Pick
glorious.
and choose
I
your
mean,
battle.
Every night that you would be able to sit there and lay on anything that wasn't covered in sand or, anything like that. It was just so nice to be able to wrap up into something. Now, given it was plush and it was warm and all those other kind of things, and when my air conditioner would go out and it would be like 155 degrees in my room, it was absolutely it was cooler outside than it was inside.
So Sid, I have a question. And we're in the trust tree, okay?
We're in the trust tree.
We're in the trust tree. You don't
Should
need
we
to
be letting him talk right now?
I don't know.
Josh, do we need to cut you off?
No.
I've had a few, I won't lie. But how is it having a military mom? Like, with having this, could be strict, could be, fierce, but at the same time, could also kick ass. Is it...
Snaps a deer.
Yes, snaps a deer's neck. Knowing that this woman has snapped a deer's neck, and you get out of line.
Unloaded it and loaded it again.
When they get the text message,
Yeah.
you've missed class.
How is it growing up in a military family?
Well, if I get in trouble, I hate my punishment because I don't get grounded. I have to do exercises until I pass out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no...
Holy fuck.
There's no...
Like, seriously,
there's
that
no
is like-
spanking. We don't spank our child.
That's
We
fine.
just run her to death. Or we sit there and make her do push-ups until
Or
she
fuck
passes
that
out.
I want the
spanking.
Did she do the 15
You're
push-up
either gonna
challenge?
be
It was like,
in-
big deal. What's up, you bunch of wimps?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're either going to
15
be
push-ups for
incredible
one hand.
shape
93.
or horrible shape.
It's funny because at my high school, we have, like, the army guys that come to school and, like, they do, like, let's do the pull-up challenge. Let's do the push-up challenge. And, like, I get, like, T-shirts and all that stuff for, like...
Swag.
Free
Yeah,
stuff.
because, like, the highest girl, like, we do it both lunch periods, and, like, the girl for fourth period lunch, like, did, like, 15, and I go in and I do, like, 30.
Like, where did you learn how to do it? I have no choice.
I have no choice.
You're like, I
I
got
stayed
bad
out
grades.
late last
She's
week.
doing the pull-ups where you go up, down, left, right, back, forward.
But Mandy left out in her career in the military is that she was also part of she just finished a tour of doing the schooling that is right after you go to basic. You go to your training school, and which is just an extension of basic where they still have to work them out every day. And Mandy went through that training. It was basically like a drill sergeant for how long?
For 2 years.
Wow. Is that like the tilted down hat yelling at everybody?
Yeah, they're actually moving away from the tilted down hat. It shows like a
Little too
negative impact.
But the
perhaps.
yelling is okay?
Yelling is okay. I mean,
Okay, cool.
we
It
come
was
up.
the tilted hat where they're like,
Well, there are rules though now.
There
There's
are
more
rules.
rules than when even
Really?
when
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
in.
Like
Really?
we can't curse.
can't
We can't do
curse
that.
in
So
it
you
anymore?
actually
It's not
come up
Full
with
Metal
more
Jacket anymore.
creative ways to
can you
sit there.
still hit people with bags of
No,
oranges?
you cannot hit people with bags. We just come up with new
Can you
names.
hit people with bags of pillows?
Bags of pillows.
Multiple pillows.
Pillow party.
That's a different military thing. That's probably not going to fly.
As long as you don't
More than
ask,
likely.
don't
That's
tell.
crazy. They're cracking. There's like now.
Yeah, there are more rules. They went into a whole, you're degrading me, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, I'm not degrading you. I'm just telling you exactly what you are.
It's not mean if it's true.
and that's exactly how I see it.
You kind of suck.
But she much like my brother. I'm obviously the sloth of the family. My brother who rides 26 miles every day just because it's just fun to him.
not?
My sister was telling a story earlier about she would get up at 4 with one of her friends. This girl, they were trying to get run
we were
the
trying to
2
cut our
mile under.
times.
They basically they do like tests twice a year. They basically have to be tested on their physical ability. And she wanted to cut her time down, so her and her friend would wake up at 4 a.m. to just work on their run before running with their platoon that they had to lead as well. Who does that?
Good God.
You know what I love doing at 4 a.m.?
Seems like me.
Sleeping.
I thought you were going to transition to watching Batman.
Oh,
No,
That's going to be happening.
We'll be done by like 2:45.
We'll be doing that tomorrow.
Are we already making the transition?
I mean,
I think we should make the transition.
Needless to say, my
gotta pee.
sister,
Yeah.
there's me,
Yeah.
the low
There's
rung,
this,
and then my
Emma.
sister
There's
and brother who are
this.
badasses.
There's this.
I have to wake up at 4 in the morning, too.
Oh.
Why do you?
Like,
You're a horrible mother.
it was my dad that told me I had to do this. I have to wake up, like,
Dave, you're a horrible father.
I have to wake up at 5, but I wake up at 4 sometimes if I want to get ready earlier. But I have to wake up at 5, do all my chores and all that stuff.
It's like milk cows? Like, what do you have to do at 5?
Work on the trike. Go out there and tune the
All
trike.
right, fine.
Tune the
I buy
trike
that.
up.
I buy that. I'll buy that.
And, like,
I got to crack down on my
No, but
kids.
seriously, do you have cows? Like,
Seriously,
what's at 5?
no, we don't have cows. It's just that, like, I leave right around, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and she needs to, like, get her stuff together, and she has to go to school, and she has chores, and
I have to walk.
she has to walk to school, and, there's
But
a
we
lot
learned
that
this
has to be
weekend
done.
that she is a badass golfer.
Yes.
And was
84 on it. That's
dude kicking
that's
me and
nothing to
Josh's.
scoff at.
Uncle Jack
Hi.
just saw my practice swing when we were in his driveway, and Uncle Jack was like,
Like, I'm out.
I'm looking around. I'm like, is this? I was like, seriously?
So we're getting set up. This
No,
is set up.
seriously.
Yeah, he's thinking we're
Jo-
making
Josh,
money with this.
Josh walked over. Josh showed up for the back 9. We played 18. I took her
showed up
out.
for the back nine?
I played 5 times. This was my 6th time ever playing the
In
sport
your
of golf.
life?
Ever.
Oh, boy.
Josh shows up for the back nine, and Sydney gets up to do her, tee off on the 10th hole. She swings. He walks over. He goes, "Holy shit, dude!" I go, "I told you." He's like, "Dude, if she plays like her swing, we're in trouble." I go, "No joke, man."
It was no joke.
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
She is
I
quite
like
talented.
golf. I've been doing it for 9 years on and off, and I'm a part of the girls varsity team, and I lettered my freshman year, and I lettered my sophomore year, and I'm working on my junior year.
That's freaking awesome.
Which letters?
Awesome.
A through Z.
Awesome.
Working on C.
More
Working on
awesome
C this year.
More awesome.
Then what?
That was awesome, awesome, and then more awesome. That's the letter she's gotten.
That's a lot of letters.
It is a
Thanks
lot
for
of
spelling it
letters.
out.
But Jack definitely did hit on the fact that he is the sloth of the family. He's
I wasn't in high school. I
No,
was
no,
not.
he was-
I was not as
you-
a kid. It
he
was
was
not
not.
until I left high school.
we've actually done like a role reversal, almost, kind of, sorta. You know,
You weren't
I'm
into sports
right.
at all.
I'm still the same as somewhat quasi I was. I have more hair and I, am more athletic than I was. But Jack was very clean cut, very, Tommy Hilfiger shirt, very nice haircut. No ruggedness.
Clearly, just let myself go.
Not the Jack we know.
Oh, absolutely.
But I played sports.
You
I was,
did.
I was into sports and everything else. And when I got out and said, "Hey, all those computers and video games and stuff, I don't have to
Wreck your
sweat as
life,
much
man.
for."
Some
Wrecked it.
stuff I don't have to
Stuff
sweat
that
as
some
much
kids
for.
did as they grew up. That's not, and that's I talk about. Josh was the same way. We didn't get into this till much later in our life.
Right.
Mandy just said when she got out, she's like, "I'm in the military. Why not just become a badass here?"
Yeah, I'm
Right.
here. Why not?
Yeah, I constantly one up him on a daily basis.
No,
Like,
and she
I
did.
bet.
She started playing softball in the Army and actually had tryouts for the All Army team, which that's a full time job if you get it.
yeah.
And
It is?
She made it to the. You made it to the.
Yeah,
final cut?
I was actually the last person cut, which is an unfortunate situation.
No, literally,
but
they send you out, and if you get on that team,
that's all you do.
that's
just
all you
travel
do is
around?
play
Is
softball.
all you-
Who does?
The Olympic girls, you play.
You play everyone.
Is it like
It's
a
pretty serious.
I mean, kind of like an exhibition kind of thing where you go around?
Yeah,
and
it's
just do...
it is kind of sort of like that. You go around, you play teams in it. We played Penn State. We played a couple of like local celebrity teams and stuff like that. But if you make the team, you go all around the
Yeah.
nation, and then you become glorious. That was hot. It was pretty hot.
Too sexy.
But yeah, Jack has never been a dirty guy. He's always been very clean. He's even clean now. I mean, he showers on a daily basis.
Bi-daily.
I think
Bi-weekly?
Yeah. Well, at least he showers weekly. He's never been an outdoors kind of guy. Not a big fisherman. Not a real big. What?
It's the ticks.
Oh no,
that's
that's your Aunt Susie.
I've done all that.
But did
Fished.
you like it?
Exactly.
I don't do it full time. I'm not like my father.
Are you camping or glamping? I won't lie, I'm a glamper.
I've gone camping.
Daddy likes his plush. I'm sorry, I like to be pampered. Okay?
What's Josh talking about?
Being like
That means
outdoors.
like he's in an RV with air conditioning
I
versus
will
out on the ground.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can do all these things and have. Do I choose to do them daily now? No.
What do you choose to do daily?
Oh God.
Not his gamer score.
Video games and masturbation would be my
Not
guess.
up his gamer score. That's for damn sure.
Damn it, Sean! I want to fight you on this one.
So I was in the
know
bathroom.
me
Did
well.
we move
So
on
true.
to a topic?
Oh,
We
there you
almost
go.
did. We
We
were
almost
about to.
It was very close. It was like
I think
it
we were
was
going to
that
talk
far
about
away.
the quantum simulators.
We are.
That one was.
But first,
We did make a transition, but then it went back.
yeah, that's good. But let's actually branch off quickly here, just to say we are recording on a Wednesday night. Usually we try and record on Thursdays, and the reason we were recording on a Wednesday is because Adam organized a special group event. Adam,
I don't know any of you listeners who are not paying attention to anything going on in the world, but The Dark Knight comes out July 20th.
Dark
Tomorrow
Knight
night,
Rises.
Midnight. Dark Knight Rises. So the group of us here.
The final movie in the Christopher
Interestingly
Nolan
enough,
saga.
let me just tell a story. So, ArcLight Sherman Oaks is playing all three back to back to back, and Nerdtastic was like, "That sounds like a great idea." Minus one of us. Which one of us decided?
Which
that,
one of us doesn't
which one
wanna
of
go
us
to
was
all
like
three movies?
Was like, "Yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna go to 2 out of 3."
Give you a hint. I happen to be sharing the
It's not.
microphone
It's
with
not
him.
Adam. It's not Jason. It's not. It's not Jack. It's not
Sean's
Sean.
sitting really
And
close to somebody who.
And
fits
you'd
that
think
bill.
I would be the one
I
because
would've.
I'm
Sydney.
such a...
It's not.
Sydney.
No, I bet
Sydney.
if Sydney was
Sydney.
presented with it, she would have been
Sydney,
like
she did.
gung ho. Yeah, all three.
fucking
Sydney.
totally doing that and waking up at 4 a.m. that day.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a bunch
some.
of push-ups and sit-ups and just punch people in the face. 'Cause why not?
breaking some deer's necks.
So just to keep up, Adam, Jason, Jack, Sean, Josh.
Oh.
I gotta admit, I'm a little scared.
We all talk
Fear
about
is,
how
hey,
scared
you
we
gotta
are.
admit it. Fear is good. Fear is good. But yeah, so we're gonna go see. The ArcLight is doing all 3 on 35 mil.
I think I'm gonna develop palpitations.
Yeah, it's gonna
During
be
the second
15-minute breaks between each movie.
Is that what it
I
came
think
out to?
15-minute
I thought
breaks.
there was a big break between one and the
No,
I thought there was a longer break between the second and the last.
I don't think it's long. I don't think it's long. I would say
It's
most
17 minutes.
It's between. I don't think it's more than 30.
I think that's what
Josh
she
is
said.
joining us for the last
but Josh
2.
is coming for last 2,
I am
which
coming
I can
last
still.
too. It was just the first one. It was like leaving work
Which
a little
arguably
early.
to me, I actually like the first one better than the second.
And
I'm
see, I
one of
like the
few
second one better than the first one.
Interesting.
Excuse me. And personally, I've seen the first one a bunch of times, so I was willing to sacrifice that.
Yeah, I just the interesting
people.
thing.
But you didn't sacrifice.
Yeah, you gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I can say is,
You're using the word wrong.
yeah, when this story gets
The
retold
opposite
in
of
years,
sacrifice.
when this story gets retold in years, because I'm sure it will, because it's going to be legendary.
Especially the first movie, right?
Yeah, we can all talk about how. Remember when we sat through almost 10 hours of Batman in one night?
Remember when we thought we could do that,
And
it
then
sucked
all of us
because
fell
we're
asleep
way older than we thought
during
we could.
the last
We will
one.
never do this again for anything.
But we will all be a part of that moment, and then we'll be like, Josh, and Josh is going to say something, and we'll be like, shut the fuck up, Josh. You weren't there.
And he'll tell him like he's there. You remember? No, Josh, you don't talk.
Shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth, Josh.
Shut your pretty mouth.
You weren't there. You don't know.
I'm going to be the one railed in the lobby, just drunk
He's
my
gonna
ass
show
off,
up.
and I'm going to come
Let's
in.
talk about though, really, when the day's starting for our adventure. It's not starting at movie time.
I have invited everybody over to the house at 4 p.m. for pizza and beers.
For big pizza. And
For
beers.
large 3-foot pizza. I need enough people to show up. I'm not going to order it for Jason.
I
Angie.
I love Jason.
I
Jason's
love-
like, you're really not gonna get to that.
I love Angie's idea of taking it with us, bagging it.
Oh, we will. Oh, we're going to bag it. She got a big purse. I already seen it. It can fit a lot of stuff.
I'm
It's a
excited.
duffel bag.
Cindy, what's the biggest pizza you've ever seen?
The biggest pizza?
Yeah.
Probably as big as that table.
Oh, come on. One up in everybody.
That's about 3 for table. I think that's about right.
Yeah,
No, the pizza's bigger than that, isn't it?
No, we did this math. It was
But
like
even though it's that big, I wouldn't eat any of it.
oh, come
It
on.
breaks hearts.
Do you not like pizza?
No, I
Do you-
can't eat it.
Why?
Lactose.
Cheese.
Dang it.
Now,
Well-
but your mother, who's not here, or I can make fun of for not being here, she could talk about eating a pizza eating contest when she was only. Hey, Mandy.
Oh, she's back.
So
How
the
old-
equation,
Everybody do math.
the
in school.
equation of what we were
Lots of
saying.
math.
how
Don't skip.
How old were you when you won the pizza eating contest?
I think I was 12,
Whoa.
Against
Grown
how
men.
many other grown men?
like 7.
Killed it.
Killed it.
So do you think she would eat more pizza than you did last time we had
Couldn't
the
do it.
giant one?
Grown men's stomachs can't stretch as much.
Have you seen my girlish figure?
It's
There's only one way. There's only one way I keep it, my friend, and it's
So-
not running 2 miles at 4 a.m.
So our 3 of the 5 of our Nerdtastic crew members
Is there no more?
attended a certain conference last week, something that I think any good nerd show can't go on without mentioning.
And what next year you will be, Jason? You said
I will heavily consider thinking about going.
If I want to go,
I
want to
suggest
go.
I suggest the first night.
Which is
if
the
they're
first
going to
night?
do that
Is it
again.
Friday? Like,
what are we talking
professional-
we
about
are
first?
talking about Comic Con.
Comic Con.
And Jason and Adam unfortunately couldn't make it.
Wasn't invited. Just saying.
We won't go there this time. Years to come, you won't be able to talk about the story, Adam. Sorry.
True.
But I had an extra pass, so I convinced Mr. Fennel to come down.
I was Jack's wife.
As one of the
domestic
perks,
partner.
one of the perks
okay?
of being
domestic partner.
being pseudo professionals in our industry is that
And it was terrific.
is it allows us to go to these conventions for free, and that convention in particular is a very expensive convention to go to, and it is tickets sell out very, very fast, same day within a couple hours, and it's an awesome event to go to, especially for nerds. And when Sean had never been, Jason had never been. Jason's been pretty strapped with work and family stuff, and Sean, I didn't think would go, but I said fuck it, and Sean said yeah, I'll go. Considering my family was coming out it goes Wednesday through Sunday, and my family was coming out Thursday, so I could only go Wednesday. And Wednesday is just a preview night. It's for professionals and people who pay extra to go. They can go from 6 to 9 p.m. So it's only 3 hours for a convention hall that's a couple football fields easily long. But I haven't missed one since I've been out here. and it's something that's important to me. And San Diego is only 2 hours south, so I convinced Sean to go.
Damn, it
and
wasn't
Josh,
2 hours south that day.
No, we'll go into that. But and Josh and Josh's wife were going to come down for they do Wednesday and Thursday. So we said, screw it, let's go down. And as we left, DreamWorks at 4-ish.
Yeah, about 4:15.
We hit
take you to
every
get
part
down?
of
What
rush
the
hour
heck
you
were you
possibly
thinking?
get hit in Los Angeles.
What were you thinking?
We were supposed to leave at 3. That didn't happen for whatever
You're
reason.
still gonna hit traffic the whole way down.
How long did it take us to get there?
Probably 3.5 hours.
Yeah, easy. And
We could have gone to Vegas.
we had by the time we got there, it took Josh the same way. We were texting the whole way. I mean, and by the time we got there, it was about 40-ish, 30 minutes or so to get our badges and get on the floor. I'm not lying. The thing is so large that last year I did it in one day, and it took me and Josh and his wife the entire day to really do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give Sean an experience in 30 minutes of this entire thing.
It was an hour. It was an hour.
On the floor?
Yeah, they let us stay a bit later. They didn't kick us out.
But I've never been there when
exactly
the lights got shut down.
And you're like, hey, last call. Flick,
No,
flick,
seriously,
flick,
it
flick,
was.
flick. No, seriously, get the count.
Yeah,
And it
no,
was.
like I'd never been there where it was just like, because I'd been to preview night before, and it was just like, okay, and they have the announcer come over, and it's just like, Comic Con will be closing in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Please make all your purchases, and you're just like,
And
okay,
I kept
no
saying,
problem.
"Hey, get the fuck out."
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed that they had South Park characters announcing Comic Con.
They did.
first.
But like, so we're walking around, and it was just like, oh, thank you for coming to Comic Con. And you're just like, we're still going.
Yeah, we're not leaving yet.
We weren't leaving yet. We pushed that to
8:15,
limits.
we get to the very corner, and like one security guard goes, okay, let's migrate this way, guys. And it's like towards like the door, and we're like, and
You don't
left
have to
turn.
go, but you can't stay here. And we had, but surprisingly, we were able to walk the length of it, buy a couple items that you could see off the middle.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, and I had never been there on a Wednesday. I've always gone on the weekends where it's so throttled you could barely walk, and that's part of Jason and Sean's reason for not going.
Sure.
The crowds. But it was nice and it was doable.
Well,
And
sometimes
Was every booth there? Were there any?
Yeah.
Everybody was there?
everything is there. The thing is too is when, because it starts at 9. I'm sorry, at 6. Goes 6 to 9, and at everybody's lining up at 6, and they call it like running of the nerds, because it's just like running of the bulls. So basically, they open the door, and then everybody just charges into
There's
to do
swag.
whatever.
There's swag that's very
yeah.
limited.
to just get this, to be the first of this, to see this, and everything like that. So that gets
I'm the first person to get a picture of the Iron Man.
That's how it is.
So that's kind of like a big deal. And so for probably the first hour, maybe 2, it's pretty bad. Like when we first got there, it was a little packed. And I remember the last year we went Wednesday night and Thursday, and I thought Wednesday night was actually busier than the Thursday was, because actually the Wednesday night was pretty like hammered. So when we went, it was just like, because we were there at the very end, and just the timing of it and stuff, it was just, we were able to just
I
not have to hit elbows.
I do
with
have
everybody.
to say, the one experience that I didn't get, though, was seeing all of the people dressed up, because they don't usually show up that night. So there were a handful, but it wasn't just like
a
all of the
diehard.
really.
Well, let's talk about that, Sean. I mean, what did you? Obviously, it was a short amount of time, but I mean, you saw the scale of how big this
I was
is.
throttled by, between the people and the stuff on the booths, how much there is to look at. Like, it was literally, for the first 15 minutes, visual overload. I didn't know where to look. I was looking at people,
Look,
and I was
kids,
like, well,
Big
that's
Ben.
cool, and well, that, and I felt like I had ADD for a while. But it was cool. It sort of leveled out, and we walked around a couple of times, and I think we did 2 full laps.
No.
We did the middle.
Like, we went down the middle, and then we came
came-
around one end, and then we came down the other, like, all the way around the other. So we did, like, a box, kind of.
We did.
We did a box, Josh.
We didn't do the full box.
It sounds like you did the ampersand symbol.
But like one thing too
We
was
did the
It
at
was more
symbol.
like a percent sign.
one thing that was funny too is that Sean was talking to his wife, and it was just like, what do you want from here?
What
She's
do you
like,
want?
what do they have? And
what do
Sean's
they
like,
have?
oh,
Like,
they have everything. Everything is here, and like that's all
What
you
do
have.
you want from here?
Yeah, everything. But yeah, no,
It's true. From a nerd standpoint,
Yeah.
there's almost nothing you can't get there. I mean, literally everything's there.
Now, having never done Comic Con, I've seen a lot of the videos and the panels and the stuff like that, and that's always what's super interesting to me, and I hear the stories about how I got in line at 6 a.m. for a 9 p.m. panel.
Which there were people in tents
Right.
on the Wednesday night there for the
Hall
Twilight.
H Hall.
The H Hall Twilight panel that was
Right,
gonna be
and
on
which is like
Thursday.
that's the kind of thing that I would love to be a part of. One of those early things where you see early footage and you're the first group to see, and that sounds fantastic.
Don't
But
get
it
to take a
sounds
shower. And...
miserable. Like that part sounds absolutely miserable. Unless you get a group and it turns into an event, that sounds miserable waiting in the line.
I think it would be funny actually
You think
to
they let 'em-
podcast a show. We figure a way to bring a battery. And we podcast a show
From
camping out for some retarded H
Oh,
Hall thing in the
Yeah.
morning that we.
You think they kick you out if you start at a campfire?
How about
and
if we
cook
drank? How
s'mores?
much do you think we could drink out there, or they would let us drink? Is
I
the
would
question.
die.
it's all about incognito drinking. Come on,
Exactly.
come on, guy. Figure it out.
Jason's face. All of us are not really into camping, but we're all like, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Jason's like,
That's a very different.
Would you do it,
No,
Jason?
no,
Would you
no.
be in?
I am a big camper.
When?
I haven't ever done it, but I'm really excited about it. It sounds super fun.
It's a good
No,
way
that's
to
not true.
break
I've been
in.
camping. I've been camping a couple times in my life, and it's a lot of fun. I will say, fishing though is the most boring thing on the planet. No doubt about it.
It's because you didn't
Deep
have
sea
the
fishing.
banjo minnow.
I'm not sure what that even means. Foreign
she
language.
fishes.
That's something like a banjo kazooie.
Banjo minnow to me sounds like a band that would come out of the South.
I love them.
No, it's a lure that looks exactly like a minnow and it moves like a minnow, and I caught 20 fish with
I've
it in
used
one
those.
day.
Fish.
When I went, I had a stick with a string tied to it and a hook I had fashioned
there,
out of
Huck?
a hook.
and a stick and a bandana over the
them.
This is 1820.
A hook I had fashioned out of a pine,
fashioned-
a pine needle,
Fashioned a hook out of a pop can.
pine
lid.
needle.
and I got bored, and so I started shooting the fish with BBs.
I don't buy a lot of this story.
Some of it's true.
Some of it. I love
Deep
it.
sea fishing is a little more exciting than
Okay,
fishing
hold
on a
on.
lake, but
Speaking of deep sea fishing, I was in Hawaii once, and we took a little tour to a little like mini island, off the coast. You can take like a day trip, and the guys driving the boat. It was like a sunset cruise kind of thing. The guys driving the boat, they put some deep sea
Tunes on
sticks.
the
What are they called? Poles off the back of the boat,
Deep
That's what she said.
Sticks.
and the guys go at some point in time. We're all hanging out, mingling or whatever, meeting some people, and one of the I think it's the captain who yells, "Clear the deck." And so we didn't know what was going on, but you see one of the
Sticks.
poles bending, like really bending. And so the captain and one of his like crew
Mates.
dudes goes up and they start, reeling this thing in. It turns out they pulled on a freaking swordfish, a marlin or whatever.
Yeah.
And those things have like super sharp, pointy business.
They'll cut you.
Pointy business.
Because it was a public thing,
them the
we were
business.
all like inside the cab and up above, like looking down. They had to beat the fish to death with a bat on the deck so it wouldn't hurt anybody. I'm never going fishing again.
I'm not gonna lie.
What they didn't
Dude,
do
you put
was
food in
snap
the
its
water.
neck.
I swim up, eat said food.
I told you.
hook me. I come into your boat. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I told you it was more exciting.
And I'm
than
not gonna lie. I'm
fishing
gonna
on a
hurt
lake.
anybody who's gonna get next to me.
You're going to be even more pissed when
Who's
they
next?
beat you to
It's
death
like-
with the bat.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be like Fight Club on that deck,
Who's next? Who's next? I'm gonna poke you with my thing.
You're going to look for some ankles to take out.
Take the fucking hook out of my mouth, put me back in the water.
And nobody gets hurt.
They said they didn't shoot
You
you.
don't need the bat. You don't need the bat guy.
So here's what I really don't understand is fishing, if you're fishing for food, okay. But if you're fishing for fishing and then you put it back, why?
What if you're fishing?
I
for
don't
drinking
understand.
beers?
I think it's
What if
because
you're-
you don't drink beer.
Well, there you
That's
go.
the main reason.
Dad would argue that.
But what, I don't understand. What is fun about, I caught one, put it back.
beer.
It's the challenge.
Challenge beer.
But is it
nature.
challenging if you have the banjo kazooie? What'd you call it?
Banjo minnow.
Banjo minnow.
I asked if it was the
Why banjo? Does it play? Oh, thank you.
No,
Does
it's
it play
because of the guy-
instruments?
It's because of the guy that made it. He's like really
His name's Banjo.
out in the country type thing. And the,
I know.
that's what was playing on the instruction video. There's an
I'm sure it was.
Was it? Did the instruction? Was it a VHS? Like, how did it come? Like, was it on
Was it Betamax?
It was a DVD.
No
Like, it was a-
shit.
It was not a real system, Adam, where you had to put in punch cards.
Chuck tested.
Chuck Testa.
Nope. Chuck
So,
tested.
Sean, would you go back to the con?
Yes, I think I would go back on the same preview night because I liked how many people were there. I don't think I would enjoy it with it just being insanely packed. But I would like people watching. That would be very fun.
awesome.
I was at, this is a sidebar, but related to like the cosplay and dressing up. I was at the X Games, a couple weeks ago. For whatever reason,
Is this the loop de loop?
yeah. For whatever reason, they scheduled some kind of anime event and the X Games in the same weekend. So you're sitting there like with a lot of like hardcore, dirt bikers, skateboarders, all tattooed up, and just these cosplay just weirdos walking by down the same street. You'd be sitting there, and it would be
robot dancing.
Princess Mononoke.
Something. I mean, it would just be the most bizarre group of.
Sydney likes her anime, so
Hey.
you're speaking her language.
Hey, whatever. Pointy
No,
ear.
they've had it. They had it a
Speaking
few
English.
years. E3 was during the same time.
That
So
was
because
one of-
it was down there.
That was one of the coolest thing I saw when I was in Japan. Was they dress up and go.
And this is what I will say.
And
It's
they
like,
go to the manga.
there was a good chunk
They
of us
go
that
to the
were-
manga museum there, and they just
Yeah.
dress up and they're like, "What up? We're out front, take pictures and shit."
It's like a
It's
freaking
really
little
cool.
But no, like this is what the
I think
funniest
Josh
thing.
had the broccoli and cheddar for lunch.
The vile weed.
But no, it's the funniest thing because you sat there and you're just like, all I could think of was the guy walking by himself and just being like, "Fucking good for you, man."
Dragging his gigantic
Like,
sword.
yeah,
behind him.
I literally, people, you could hear people making fun of him, and I'm just sitting there going like, you know what, man, good for you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we have people. It's not like the specific thing, but we have people at my school that dress up all the time.
And
Like-
go to school.
Yeah,
That's
go to
ballsy.
Like
That's
people
ballsy.
like.
Are they hot?
They're like,
Are they
Settle
looking
down,
to date older
Sean.
men?
Slow it
Well,
down.
they're
You missed the high school part.
I'm on after the band.
like some of them will dye their hair orange and like bleach the show bleach. Like he would wear like the shoes with the ropes and stuff.
That's dressed
And,
up
like-
after something?
Yeah, and like they
Good
would
for him.
And they
You know
would
what?
Good for him.
they
Whatever.
wear like
Good for him.
the Naruto headbands and all that
I don't even know
stuff.
what that means.
I think it's a fishing lure. I'm not
I
positive,
think it's a
but
fishing lure.
It's some kind of banjo situation.
No, but it's actually interesting because Sydney, she's really into her anime. She's manga. She's this. She's that. And she's other. And it's hard for a parent to really understand what she's going through as far as that goes, because a lot of it is completely different than the cartoons that we used to watch as young kids.
gummy bears.
Yes. I don't think Gummy Bears actually had a show back then. But
And the fact that
I
you
think it
have
was
to read
Care
the books
Bears.
backwards.
Well,
Right.
way back then, but Gummy Bears did have a show.
Did Gummy Bears have a show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow,
I remember it.
that must have been before my time even. But the big thing is,
No, sis, you're 3 years younger than me. No, it was your time. You just chose to watch something else.
I watched something else. But as a parent watching her and with the whole manga thing, we have very close friends that watched her for a period of time when we were deploying.
Oh my god!
And they didn't understand it at all. Their children are very young.
Some weird
I know, that's exactly what they would say. And she'd be like reading her books, and they'd be asking her, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm reading manga," and they're like, "Manga? What is manga?" So then they made up a song called it was.
No,
Are you gonna sing
it's
it?
Based off of the "Don't Break My Heart, My Achy Achy Heart."
So sing
Right.
it.
And they're
It's,
like,
"Don't break my manga, my achy breaky manga."
That doesn't even work.
So wait,
That song's horrible.
can I just ask for what manga anime? What is the even difference? Like-
It's basically the same thing. The anime is the TV shows, and the manga is the books.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
graphic novels.
went in Japan, went to the manga museum.
It's very cool. If you
Jason's
ever
having a
find
tough
yourself
time
in
wrapping his head
Japan-
around all this.
If you ever
Go ahead,
find yourself
Jason.
in
Let it out.
Japan,
Let it
go
out.
to-
Let it
go
out,
to
Jake. No,
Kyoto
Jason.
and check it out.
I'm just surprised you didn't add the third category, which I know you're a fan of.
Why am I a fan of?
Does it have to do with tentacles in any way?
It just has to
weird.
do-
It's the
it has to
weird-
do with
the outer
sexual
realm.
stuff that our show
I think
is.
we're getting to NC-17
I
here.
love Jason just starts laughing because I talk. And it's like Jack's going.
I was like, is he
places.
bringing it up? No, he's avoiding that.
You just stick to your manga and anime.
Oh no, she knows all about all that stuff. Please, by all means, don't think that she is naive on any point. But the fact is that most of the time,
No, I think Jason's more naive.
oh, okay.
Jason is.
It's earmuffs.
Oh, is that what it is?
Wait, I don't know how that works.
Actually,
I don't have his headphones.
we do that all the time with her. We'll be like, Sydney,
Muffs.
earmuffs,
Muffs.
earmuffs. She'll put her
Earmuffs.
hands over her ears, act like
I
she
can
doesn't
still
hear
hear
us.
you,
I know,
Mom.
pretty much, right? But no, her dad is completely opposite side. Like, why are you watching that, right? But
And he's
even the
like-
stuff that's on, like, what she watches, breast sizes are like triple E with waist of 24. You know, I mean,
real.
Realistic.
Very low
realistic.
damping, very low damping settings.
Something that a young girl could definitely look up to and say, I want to be like her someday. You know,
like that girl we talked about who wanted to be like the Barbie.
The Barbie. She did become the Barbie.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her and everyone else looking at her.
Nothing like plastic parts with non-movable joints. Only 2 movable joints.
Whatever. I don't need more than that.
She's achieved her dream. That's
did.
more than many people can say.
Good for her.
Yeah,
if we can end tonight with a motto, good for her.
Good for her.
She's achieved her dream.
Achieved her dream.
Jason?
I'm just really happy with where this podcast has gone. You know?
Where'd it go?
Where'd you go?
Thank you, John. Where'd who go?
Where'd who go?
Wow. So I think we should probably start to mosey on and wrap this guy up.
Because
can we talk about real fast about how effing hard your challenge?
Yeah, we should
submitted
probably do a catch up.
to the
where we're at.
I feel like luckily my cohorts, but Jason, are feeling my pain. This is fucking tough to get 1,000 gamer points in a month, dude.
It's only tough because you make it tough. It's actually really easy to do. Do you know what an incredibly easy way for you to get 1,000 gamer score would be? Go get the Hannah Montana game.
But I want to play a game I like. Was your goal to make me play games I don't like?
Not at all. My goal was to give you the option if you wanted to, but you could get 1,000 gamer score just by beating Modern Warfare 3 in its entirety.
This isn't like the SAT, where I sign my name and win. I have 200 points. Even Modern Warfare 3.
200 points on the SAT is not winning. FYI.
Was that not high score?
FYI.
Was that
not a win?
Is that not a high score?
FTL for the loss.
Is that not high score?
200 is not good.
I clearly did it wrong.
Sydney, don't listen.
I clearly did that wrong.
Let's talk about it.
Don't achieve a 200, please.
But even that, to get the 1,000 points requires playing even game modes. I need another person to play. And I love the one person who will play with me, Joshua, but maybe the way we're doing it. We could play easy, but that's not our style.
You don't get as many points, do you?
And
you don't get as many.
we want to beat, obviously, your and Adam's scores that you got in Spec Ops.
Which
the game
we
is
have
damn
with
hard.
Everyone, by the way.
Yeah, we have beat you so far in every one that we finished. But it's tough to even do those, to find time. It just is. So I've tried to branch out. Now I'm playing DJ Hero 2, which I've never played through, and that's fun. But going through the achievements as this comes at me.
Lock it up.
Goddamn Mike is coming right at me. Power through. Mandy, come snap it.
Yeah, the red flowers.
The achievement list as I'm reading through is tough. I mean, it's a lot of things that I wouldn't even want to do in the game, and I love the game a lot.
Play Doritos
I wouldn't
Challenge.
want to do that.
How many can you get in Doritos Challenge?
I don't know. I think like 300.
Okay, so here, quick.
Maybe
let's just do a
200.
recap.
Let's talk around the room. Like, how's everybody doing on this?
Not as good as I would have liked, simply because of not playing as much as I should. It like literally, I remember I was sitting down over the weekend. I'm like, Angie, I gotta play. I gotta get 1,000.
Hey, Angie, you gotta give me some game time.
Babe, I gotta play. I need 1,000. So I'm only at 300 so far.
Well, that's pretty good, though.
I'm on the cusp of.
What are you
beating-
playing to get your 300?
Right now, it's Modern Warfare because I haven't played through the story.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm on the cusp of getting the
Are you
extra
liking
100.
it?
Yeah, I got no
pretty
problems
fun,
with it. Yeah. Well, I already played through it once, but I played through it on a different profile. So I'm playing through on Banana Grabber and getting the points. But it's like that weird thing where you look through.
Name never gets old.
Banana Grabber, right? This guy. I just love grabbing all kinds of bananas.
What is 61 though?
61.
61.
There was 60 other
There were
banana
60 other
grabbers.
banana grabbers.
That's what we loved about that. We're like, really? Adam, really?
That was, and just for you two, this was how I met these three first, was just online.
Yeah.
And so I played whatever we were playing, and I got into this group and was playing with them, and then came to lunch at DreamWorks back when Jason was there. And Jason would be like, hey, guys, it's a banana grabber.
Yes,
That's
this is banana grabber.
Right here, this is the banana grabber.
This is Jerry.
Didn't even say Adam. Didn't even say Adam.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Like, it was that's how we were introduced.
That's how we got introduced. That's how I first met
So you're
these
at
guys.
300.
I'm at 300. But I'm on the cusp of the extra
Of greatness?
150 for just beating the single player. So I'm about to jump into Portal. Portal's the next.
Jason?
I am at 470.
Jeez.
Okay.
Just under the.
Playing what?
So I got 370 or 375 for actually beating Halo Reach on Legendary.
Wow.
And I actually didn't know this was going to happen. It was a nice bonus.
Show off.
I was going to beat it on Legendary, and then there's other achievements for beating it on hard and normal and all this stuff. If you beat it on Legendary, you get them all.
Yeah, it counts for all.
Yeah. That's the same with Modern Warfare.
Which is very
really?
cool.
Mm-hmm. Are you playing it on that? Are you playing?
I'm playing
it
on the
veteran?
hardest.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
tried that yet.
And then
It's
I've also popped in Halo Anniversary Edition, which is the remake of the original for 10 years ago, and I've started racking up a few there. Also plan on playing a little Gunstringer. Got some achievements to go in Gunstringer. And I was even thinking about some
How about Minecraft? Did you get
Walking
them all
Dead.
on- did you get them all on
I'm pretty
Minecraft?
close to Minecraft. The others would take too long in the time we have. So I'm thinking some Walking Dead to achieve a couple more would be good, and I think that'll put me pretty close to 1,000.
What do you?
I think
So
I'm
what
at
are
a
you
cou-
at 470? What are you
I'm
at?
at a couple hundred. I haven't actually looked. I got to be a couple hundred.
You have the app.
Yeah, but I'm
Math.
at a couple hundred.
Comes down to math.
I'm just down to what Jason's saying. A lot of the achievements to me some of them are time based. Like I don't have the amount of time to physically get them. And like as I look through games, like I look at like DJ Hero, a lot of them entail multiplayer plays that I had never intended on playing that game multiplayer.
Yeah.
But there's like half of them
Really?
are geared towards multiplayer. Now, if that had been for Modern Warfare 3, I'd be killing it right now. But yeah, it's just I'm finding it tough. Sean, where you at?
I think I'm hovering around 500, but I gotta be honest, it feels like work. It's no longer fun anymore.
This is all it took.
I come home and I'm like, oh, I gotta play this game.
Which game?
I think I played Minecraft for a little while. Yeah, I actually played a little bit. I've been playing Saints Row 3 a lot, which is actually pretty fun, but it's starting to piss me off. And there's a third game I was playing, but I can't remember what it is. So
Mass Effect?
Yes, Mass Effect, which is also annoying me because it's pretty much like a story that you play every once in a while. So it's like a 48-hour movie that you play about 5 hours of. Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
I just looked at my score. I'm like 56 points.
How do you get 6 points?
I think he got him off Spec Ops.
56.
I think he got him off his Doritos.
Wait,
I got off
is
the
Doritos giving out 1 point increments? Because everything else is on the 10 and 5 scale.
No, we got a couple
I haven't
for
played
Spec
much.
Ops.
If you look at it's like I signed in I think a week and a half ago. Like I just haven't played much.
Doritos Challenge isn't the one that's really pumping the points into your really.
It's so quick and easy though. And honestly, like I'll go through it and I'll be like, oh, I'm behind Banana Grabber. Like, no, I have to redo this to make sure.
That's a problem. Like I can't play through that. I'm like, well, I got to one up it.
Exactly. I have
Spec
to
Ops,
one
'cause
up
we
this.
played early and nobody was on there. None of my friends had scores, so it was like, oh, we played, we won. Like had I started now, I was like, oh, I can't fucking let.
Oh yeah,
those
yeah,
guys
no.
lead. No way.
I've beaten
So
you.
not
I've beaten you.
competitive.
Screw you.
I've beaten you. But
Play the wave.
I
I'm
do
gonna
not have that.
survival.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know,
I'm
I
gonna
just
do
don't
probably
have
some.
Sean tried to play Spec Ops with me, and that poorly failed.
That game.
The best example. Did we talk about it? Like we talked about it. We didn't talk about it on the show though. For people who have played Spec Ops, after you do the first little mission where you run through on the target practice, the mission's on a submarine, and the goal is you go down in the submarine.
That one's hard.
And then you come up on the back. And you end it in the back. You come back.
Yeah.
Hear me say, back up out of the submarine.
You clear the whole sub.
Now, me and Sean were playing on medium. We weren't playing on the hardest level.
Poorly, I might add.
We finally, after a couple tries, get to towards the end where you have to come back up. For whatever happened, Sean's mic wasn't working, but I didn't know he could hear me, so I assumed it didn't work. Period. I go up the ladder, and I'm up top getting shot, and I'm hiding behind fucking crates, and I'm looking on the mini map where you can see your buddy. Now I'm waiting at any point for his little arrow to be underneath mine to come up the ladder. Not Sean. Sean said, I think we missed something at the front of the fucking submarine underneath. And he walked the other way, and I'm like, and I'm yelling to myself, thinking he can't hear shit. I'm like, where the fuck are you going? Come on, Sean. And it's like, he just keeps going, and there's hordes of people coming at me, and I'm out of ammo now. And I'm waiting for people to get close enough to knife to steal their gun. And Sean's still walking the other way until I finally die. And Sean just signs out. And I get a text. Fuck this game. I'm done. Never playing again.
I ain't a daisy. Nope.
So,
do it.
So, a quick recap. We are trying to achieve, as a group, 5,000 gamer score in 30 days.
How many days are we in?
Too many, John.
2 weeks tomorrow.
Tomorrow
It
will be...
doesn't count. My family's been here.
I have a few.
Tomorrow
games
will
to
be
play,
14 days. If we look at the calendar,
My math says 16 left. Just saying.
Hey, has anyone actually figured out how long we've been on Xbox Live and figured out how many average per day points that we did?
I've been on for
Jack,
years,
you
and I'm
got
only
it
at
for
4,000.
so the 30th is August 4th, which is a Saturday.
My birthday.
Whose
Just saying.
birthday? Whose birthday's on the Friday?
My dog.
Show of hands. Me and your dog Jack.
Yours is mine's
August 3rd.
Jack's is on the 4th.
Mandy's August 31st.
August 31st.
It's yours, mine, and then Angie's. That's 3 days in a row. Angie's is the 5th.
Crazy.
That's
Mom's
a
is
mega
the 6th.
party.
Holy shit! Let's just go
Really?
nuts.
So-
Block party,
So
blackout party.
5,000 point party.
now, are you guys? You guys are still in the challenge.
I'm in.
Yes.
Dude,
I'm
we're in. I mean, we're
I
in
just
as
have
much
to
as we
I
can
just have
be.
to turn on my Xbox to actually play.
Step one.
Josh has it
one.
down.
Also, Doritos challenge is not gonna do it, Josh.
Buy an Xbox.
Play a
Step 2.
Get an account.
Here's my
Xbox
prediction.
Live.
Step
to
2
get
question
points.
mark. Step 3 profit.
Here's my honest to God prediction of what's going to happen.
Make more
Okay.
money.
I think Adam and I are both going to achieve 1,000.
I'm nervous now.
I think
It's now been recorded, and I'm nervous.
that Josh is going to just come out of nowhere and in 2 nights get 1,000. It's just going to happen.
Right.
He sold all the games he could have got points off of.
Then I think
accepted.
Then I
2
think
nights,
I
1,000
think
points.
I think
I'm
Sean.
saving till the last 2.
I think Sean, being such a nice guy,
I think I got about 200 left in me, Jason.
I
to
think
be honest.
Sean is going to feel bad that he's going to let the group down. So he's going to be like, grumble, grumble, and then he's going to step up,
You don't know me
You
very
do grumble
well.
a lot.
and then he is going to get 1,000, and then we're all going to be posting our scores. And the night before, Jack's going to be sitting at about 200 points, and he's going to go, "How am I going to make up 800 points?" And then
I'm gonna buy him.
and he's going to be scrounging for them on eBay. Is basically what's going to happen.
Literally, there's a Craigslist post right now. Maybe you've missed. Looking for achievement points. $20 for
I will
800.
literally give you the login information to my account. Please help me out.
Done.
They're hard. It's not. I tell you,
Some
they're not
of them-
hard.
some of
they're
them-
annoying.
Some of them are hard.
The
Some of
ones
them
I'm
aren't.
playing is literally play the game. It's not anything
For
weird.
a whole 20. That's
no,
it.
by the time if you beat Modern Warfare, it's like
Well, when he put this
350.
challenge up, I had just finished beating it, so I had those.
Maybe
points.
you should have not done that, dummy. Just saying.
Way to be clairvoyant, Jason.
Ass.
Clearly, Adam has this down.
So we
If I
should
beat it on
probably
the higher level, I'd get the points. So, Adam, is that what you're saying? If I beat it on
Yes, you get more if you play it on hard.
expert or veteran
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
So you have 2 more weeks
I'm so nervous.
and some change. And I'm looking at Sean because he looks like he's just already given up.
I have. It's done.
Something pissed Sean
You will
off.
be letting
There
him-
was a challenge
I'm
that
playing
pissed him
leisurely.
off. I know Sean, and it probably was one challenge in particular. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing this?"
I think you will. If
that what it was? Yeah.
if anybody
Close.
doesn't achieve it, we will be letting the group down.
And also, we all
My
get a
family's
slap
here,
in the face.
Jason. That's not
Whoever
cool.
doesn't get 1,000 gets slapped in the face. What Jason didn't do was add a consequence.
I could be okay with this.
There's an addendum to this.
I could
you
be okay
only
with
get
this.
a slap if you got over 1,000.
Over 1,000, you're making up for whatever I don't get. So please go over
Well,
1,000.
then we still get to slap you. If you don't
don't
get
like
your
that.
share,
I don't like
you get slapped.
I think I could take a slap in the face
Yeah.
pretty well.
I think I'd tune in for that, honestly.
Yeah, let's do that on air.
I love
For
Sean.
sure.
Sean's
Also,
ready for
any
the slap.
viewers that get 1,000 can slap Jack too when he doesn't get 1,000.
Slapjack.
Now, if I get 1,000, regardless of what you get slapped.
No, that's
should've-
dumb.
I'm not gonna lie. When the mic goes off, I'm slapping you just.
I think you should have raised the stakes and Rochambeau
hey,
it.
hey, you want to hear a rule? I'm gonna fucking hit you on this. Just made it up.
Solid rule. It's good. It's good rule. It's good rule.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 33 of Nerdtastic in 3D. My name is Jason Carter.
I'm Jack Geckler.
Sean Fennel.
Josh LeBrot.
Amanda Dodd.
Sydney Geckler.
Adam McFarland.
Girls, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sis.
Sorry to subject
We
you
had
to
girls
Here on the show.
on the show. Don't make it weird. Jack.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later. Don't hit me, Jack.
Nerdtastic, Nerdtastic, Nerdtastic.